Why do some graphic designs totally fail and others become iconic? Once you understand the hidden science behind graphic design, you'll never see things the same way again. Now, most designers have already heard about the F and the Z patterns, which suggest how most people move their eyes around a design. Sure, this is important, but let's take it a step further. Now, this right here is a heat map. The red zones you can see here, that's where people's eyes are glued to a design for longer periods of time. And guess what? If your key elements aren't sitting in these areas, they are practically invisible. So how do you go about fixing that exactly? I'm going to show you quickly 2 free tools so you can inspect your designs yourself for eye tracking efficiency. So for those who are website designers, Hotjar offers a heat map tool that you can integrate into your sites for free. And if you just want to upload general graphic designs to quickly check, you can try this tool here. But the trick is to compare different color uses and layouts, and that is to see what drives the best results, and also to include CTAs around the hot areas, ideally to the right side of your design. Also consider where the user will start their journey, often in the hottest area, and then where they're going to finish, which would be the less hot areas but not the blank areas. Now we're going to look at something that is very overlooked in the graphic design space by graphic designers, but it's something that will make your work really impactful and high tier. I'm talking about psychological time perception. Now you might be wondering to yourself, what does time have to do with graphic design? Well, it's pretty simple actually. Our brains interpret time differently based on how cluttered or clean a design is. And this really does matter. The more simple a design is, the faster it will be to process, the happier the viewer becomes. Now, why is that? Well, because they have a few elements competing for their attention. In UI design specifically, where people are interacting with software or websites, a fast visual feedback loop makes users feel more satisfied. It's like when you open up an app and everything is clear, clean and responsive. Your brain processes it in milliseconds and you feel like the app works quickly, almost effortlessly. Now this has been studied and the results show that users feel more comfortable and more happy on these more simple applications. Take a look at this comparison. On the left, a cluttered UI with too many buttons and unorganized elements. It feels overwhelming, like navigating a maze. On the right, a clean, minimal design with only the essentials: clear layout, prominent CTAs, and readable text. Notice how the right side feels more intuitive, everything just flows naturally. But here's a quick takeaway for this. As a designer, the cleaner and more organized your layouts are, the faster users will process information. A simple adjustment like this will make your design feel not only more appealing, but faster and more fluid to use. We're now moving swiftly onto something that is very important, and it's something that every professional and highly seasoned designer knows about. Now we're talking about the science of emotion, and I'm going to show you a quick 3-layer approach to the science of emotion on a graphic design. It's something you don't want to miss. And to illustrate this, let's take a look at a cover from Vogue magazine. At the first level, the visceral level, the immediate reaction here is strong. The typography on the cover uses sharp, elegant fonts paired with minimal but impactful use of color. The clean, often monochromatic background allows the images to stand out. The high contrast between the bold black text and the model's image evokes a sense of luxury and sophistication. Now this immediately catches your eye and it triggers a feeling of exclusivity and importance, but it does go deeper. We then look at the behavioral level, or we could say how the design performs. The layout is organized and intuitive. Your eye is naturally drawn to the most important element first, like the model's face or a striking visual detail, and then moves to the bold typography. Everything is designed with balance and clarity, ensuring that it's easy to navigate. Now you instantly understand the message of the magazine: high fashion, premium content, and a refined aesthetic. As a reader, this makes you feel confident the magazine represents something valuable and worth engaging with. And finally, we have the reflected level. what the design means on a deeper level. And when you look at this cover, it's not just about the clothes or the photography, it's about aspirational values, beauty, success, and luxury. You might not even realize it, but the design is tapping into the viewer's desire for a lifestyle of refinement and prestige. It appeals to a part of your identity that seeks out high standards and personal achievement. This emotional connection makes you want to be a part of the world if you are interested in this kind of niche. So, when designing your work, remember this. Make sure it appeals immediately, the visceral, functions seamlessly, behavioral, and connects to deeper personal values or aspirations, reflective. Achieving all three will not only grab attention, but also create a lasting connection with your audience. Now, let's dive into kinetic typography, the art of using motion in typography to convey meaning and enhance engagement. Have you ever seen text that doesn't just sit there, but moves with purpose? That movement isn't just for show. Okay, well, sometimes it is, but often it's packed with meaning and can actually instantly shift how we interpret the message of the design. Now, imagine a movie trailer that uses kinetic typography to make the phrase "the adventure begins," and it bounces and fades in sync with the beat of a soundtrack perhaps. The emotion of the text doesn't just emphasize the words, it engages the viewer on a deeper level. It builds anticipation and excitement, pulling you into the experience. You might feel the thrill before the story even begins, simply because of how the type moves in front of your face. And on the flip side, think about how kinetic typography is used in explainer videos. Now, a company might take a serious phrase like "protect your future with smart investing." If this phrase is simply displayed in static, traditional text, it might feel flat, almost like it's being read to you, rather than being spoken. But when you add subtle motion, like a slow zoom in or a smooth fade between words, the text becomes more engaging and more dynamic, and this makes the message feel more persuasive and maybe urgent. But here's your practical professional tip. Let's compare the phrase "be the change you wish to see in the world" in two different font styles. One in bold sans serif like Helvetica, and the other in a script font like Pacifico. The sans serif font is clean, modern, static, and direct. It communicates strength and simplicity. But when you add kinetic motion to it and italics, and maybe the text rapidly sliding onto the screen, it gives the feeling of action and a dynamic kind of flow. But with the script font, the motion could be more flowing and more gentle, mimicking handwriting perhaps. As the words elegantly glide across the screen, it creates an emotional connection, making the message feel more personal and more inspiring. And this is how kinetic typography taps into psychological reactions. The type's motion and the type's style can subtly influence whether the message feels strong, inviting, or intimate. And so when you add motion to your text, if you do, consider the emotional reaction you're trying to evoke. Kinetic typography isn't just about making your design look more interesting. It's about adding meaning through the movement of type and connecting with your audience on a deeper emotional level. One huge part of the science of graphic design that we've not touched upon in today's video is color theory or color psychology. And I've already made so many videos on the subject, so if you do want to continue your education, just click that video on screen. But until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.